Frank the Prime Minister Costello, born Francesco Costiglia, January 26, 1891, February 18, 1973, was an Italian-American gangster and crime boss. Costello rose to the top of the United States underworld, controlled a vast gambling empire across the United States, and enjoyed political influence. Nicknamed the Prime Minister of the Underworld, he became one of the most powerful and influential mob bosses in American history, eventually leading the Luciano crime family, later called the Genovese crime family, one of the 5 families that operates in New York. Early years, based on Italian birth records from the province of Cosenza, Costello was born Francesco Costiglia on January 26, 1891 in Loripoli, a mountain village in the town of Gossano Ionio in the Cosenza province of the Calabria region of Italy. In 1895, he boarded a ship to the United States with his mother and his brother Edward in order to join their father, who had moved to New York's East Harlem several years earlier and opened a small neighborhood Italian grocery store. While Costello was still a boy, his brother introduced him to gang activities. By age 13, Costello had become a member of a local gang and started using the name Frankie. Costello continued to commit petty crimes, and went to jail for assault and robbery in 1908, 1912 and 1917. In 1918, Costello married Loretta Giederman, a Jewish woman who was the sister of a close friend. That same year, Costello served 10 months in jail for carrying a concealed weapon. After his release, Costello decided to avoid street rackets and use his brain to make money as a criminal. Foregoing the use of violence as a road to success and wealth, Costello claimed that he never again carried a gun. He would not return to jail for 37 years. Retirement and death. During his retirement, Costello was known as the Prime Minister of the Underworld. He still retained power and influence in New York's mafia and remained busy throughout his final years. Cosa Nostra bosses and mold associates such as Carlo Gambino and Tommy Lucchese still paid visits to Costello at his Waldorf Astoria penthouse, seeking advice on important mafia affairs. Costello's old friend, Meyer Lansky, kept in touch with him. Costello occupied himself with gardening and displayed some of his flowers at local horticultural shows. On February 20, 1961, the United States Supreme Court upheld a lower court order that stripped Costello of his U.S. citizenship. However, on February 17, 1964, the same court set aside a deportation order for Costello, citing a legal technicality. In early February, 1973, Costello suffered a heart attack at his Manhattan home and was rushed to Doctors Hospital in Manhattan. On February 18, 1973, after 11 days in the hospital, Frank Costello died. It was his 82nd birthday. Costello's sedate funeral service at a Manhattan funeral home was attended by 50 relatives, friends, and law enforcement agents. Costello is buried in a mausoleum at St. Michael's Cemetery in East Elmhurst, Queens. As a testament to Costello's fame and influence, Carmine Galante ordered the bombing of Frank Costello's burial site soon after his release from prison in 1974. By blasting the bronze doors off Costello's mausoleum, Galante announced his return to the New York Cosa Nostra scene and finally achieved revenge on his old enemy.